Hello students, this video lecture is an initiative taken by Shet Vidya Mandir Junior College of Commerce and Science. This video lecture is for 12th standard SP students and this is the third video of 9th chapter Depository System. In this video lecture, we will see the constituents of depository system, that is institutes involved and the parties involved in depository system. Students, before starting with the word depository, I would like to revise you about depository system. In depository system, the securities are held in electronic form. The transfer and settlement of securities, that is buying and selling of securities, are electronically performed. The depository system maintains accounts of shareholder, enables transfer, collects dividend, bonus shares, etc. on behalf of the shareholder. This system is also called as scriptless trading system. All operations under the deposit system is performed by depository with the help of the constituents which we see in this video lecture. There are mainly four constituents, or you can say in simple words, four parties involved or four entities are involved under this depository system or under the operation of depository system. First one is the depository, second the depository participant, third the beneficial owner, fourth the issuer company. Now let us start with the first constituent, that is the depository. It is an organization like the central bank where securities are held in electronic form at the investor's request. Like we have RBI as an example of central bank, and RBI is a unique bank, only one bank. Likewise, depository is an organization which actually regulates the other constituents involved in the depository system. It also provides different services related to different transactions in such securities. It is responsible for safekeeping of the investors' securities. There is no direct access of investors with the depository, like the account holder. If you have a account, like the Central Bank of India, that is the RBI, Reserve Bank of India, it is the country's central bank. A common person cannot directly coordinate with the central bank, with the RBI. Likewise, an investor cannot involve cannot direct coordinate or direct contact the depository. The depository acts as a link between the company and the investors. Now let us see some additional information about depository in our country. There are two depositories, that is NSDL and CDSL, which are registered with SEBI. The difference between NSDL and CDSL is NSDL, National Securities Depository Limited. This organization or this depositories deals with National Stock Exchange, whereas CDSL, that is Central Depository Securities Limited, this organization or this depository deals with Bombay Stock Exchange. The depositories must be registered as a company under Companies Act. Depositories must be registered as a depository under the SEBI Act 1992 and obtain a certificate of commencement of business from SEBI. Like an ordinary company or a public company or a private company, even the depository has to get registered under the Companies Act and get registered under the SEBI Act, and they have to obtain the certificate of commencement from SEBI. It should have bylaws framed with previous approval of SEBI. Bylaws means set of rules. It should have a tie-up with one or more depository participants, that is DP, to render depository services on its behalf. Students, depository participants is one of the important constituents in the chain of depository system. It is equipped with adequate system, safeguard and prevent manipulation of records and transactions as per the directions of SEBI. Depository system should have been established by one or more of the following. First, public financial institutions. For example, the Industrial Finance Corporation of India is one of the toppest public financial institutions. State financial corporations, Industrial Development of India, that is IDBI, are the three top public financial institutions. Banks, foreign bank, recognized stock exchange, a body corporate engaged in providing financial services, a body corporate constituted or recognized in foreign country for providing custodial clearing or settlement services in securities markets with an approval from the central government. Institutions engaged in providing financial services established abroad and approved by central government. Now, by looking at the 7 points given here, or 7 examples that who can become a depository, what type of institution can become or what type of organization can become a depository, by reading the content you might have got it that any organization which is involved in providing financial services and they are approved by central government, they can become the depository under the Companies Act and SEBI Act. Depository is deemed to be registered owner of securities on behalf of investor, that is beneficial owner, to effect the transfer of securities on investor's behalf. Depository is deemed to be registered owner means depository is also considered as a registered owner on behalf of the investor. Legal framework of depository. SEBI Act 1992, as we have seen in the introduction part of depository. SEBI Depository and Participant Amendment Act Regulations 2012. Bylaws of the depository, that is the rules and regulation, and the Companies Act. Now, as a depository under the depository system, the depository has to work on this legal framework of to run and operate the functions of depository. The second constituent involved under the depository system is depository participant. It is the agent of depository. Depository participant is registered under the SEBI Act. It enjoys rights and obligations as specified under SEBI Depository and Participant Regulations of 1996. It is an intermediary appointed by the depository. In simple terms, intermediary means agent. Depository participant acts as a link between depository and the investors. As now you can get it that The investors, they cannot directly contact with the depository, but they can coordinate with the depository participant because they are the intermediary and the agents of the depository. The depository deals with the customers. It sends statement of accounts periodically. It functions like a securities bank, like the banks which we have, which you have experienced, the working of banks, like commercial bank or the bank in which you have account to deposit your money. In the same way, this depository participant, they functions like securities banking and they operate in securities. It facilitates dematerialization. Now, depository participant, they actually convert your physical shares into electronic form, and that process is called as dematerialization. And when you go through this process, your depository participant, that is DP, they will open a demat account of your name, and after that you can perform your share trading, buying and selling of shares electronically. It credits securities in the event of rights issue, bonus issue, etc. If suppose you are an investor and you have invested in Geo Limited, Geo Public Limited Company, Geo Limited Company, and Geo Limited had issued bonus shares to all the investors in the ratio of 2:1. So at that event, your depository participant will directly credit the shares which have which Geo have issued to you or allotted to you. This depository participant will directly credit the shares or securities into your account. In the same way, it handles instant transfers of payouts like dividend, interest, etc. It settles trade electronically. Following can work as DPs, that is depository participant. First, financial institutions, banks, approved foreign banks, that is approved by central government, custodians responsible for overseeing operation of assets and fund, stockbrokers, clearing corporations, non-banking financial institutions means they are financial company but they are not banks. Registrar to an issue or share transfer agents. These are the following entities which can work as depository participant. They just have to follow some rules of SEBI Depository and Participant Regulation 1996. The depository participant maintains account of securities of each investors. The depository participant has a unique number for identification. Every DP has its own unique number. Now let us see the third constituent involved or a third entity involved under the depository system. The beneficial owner, or you can also say the original owner of shares, securities, etc. The original investors. The beneficial owner is the investor of securities who has availed the services of depository participant. That means he has gone through the procedures and get its shares or securities dematerialized under depository system. Beneficial owner is entitled to all the rights, benefits and is subject to all liabilities with respect to securities held by depository. The beneficial owner can also called as the client of depository and depository participant. The beneficial owner client is required to open a demat account with the depository participant for electronic holding of securities. Beneficial owner has to pay some charges to the depository participant for availing the services of depository participant. The beneficial owner is also given a unique account number in which the securities are held. Like the bankers gives you a account number, the depository participant gives the investor or the beneficial owner a unique account number in which all the shares and securities will be credited or debited. The last constituent or entity under the depository participant is the issuer company. That is the company in which the beneficial actually invests in, actually buys the shares and securities of a company. It means the company which has issued the securities which are dematerialized. It must register with the depository.